Okay, we're going to start with the nation. Minimum wage, Labour hopeful of better deal. Tinubu relieves fond memories of mom at play presentation. Air Force promotes retirees and 4 officers. How Emefiele moved millions to wife by witness. Government to pay 36-month salary arrears of Unity School teachers. FAN subsidizing 19 unviable airports, says CEO. Varsity workers protest over outstanding pay rocks campuses. NPAN expresses concern over safety of Alabelewe and Abdu. And finally, federal government gets Ministry of Livestock Development. Okay, which story are we starting with?
Let's start with the major headline, the new minimum wage. They said the bill will soon be sent to the National Assembly Trade. This was according to the Trade Union Congress President, Festus Osifo, yesterday, and he also allayed concerns of delay, saying that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was consulting Labour and also reaching and holding conversations with various other stakeholders. And he said Labour expects that what will be submitted to the National Assembly will actually be a minimum wage that will cater for the poorest of the poor. He added that they are doing some level of internal work so that the bill will be submitted, very soon. And they are insisting on the 250,000 naira benchmark as the ideal minimum wage. He also said that the Labour met again with the Minister of State for Labour and Employment, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, and other government officials, towards the acceptable minimum wage. So meetings are going back and forth, and hopefully we'll be able to get good news at the end of the day.
Yeah, I have the former CBN governor. He was in court yesterday, and Ikeja Special Offences Court, and the court heard how the former CBN governor, Emefiele, would transfer millions of naira into his wife's account. There was a witness, her name Mrs. Ifeoma Ogbonnaya. She was an assistant bank manager at the time, and she said that millions of money was moved into several tranches into several companies' accounts. And as we know, Emefiele is standing trial over the abuse of his office, alleged $4.5 billion and $2.8 billion fraud before the court. His lawyer had also asked that he be granted his leave so that he could go abroad for medical reasons. But the EFCC lawyers are saying that they do not think that it's safe, that he can trust that once he gets his passport and he would not disappear. And that and there's no evidence to show that his illness cannot be treated here in Nigeria. But some of the transactions, going back to the transactions that happened in the ex-CBN governor's wife's name, Margaret Emefiele, they said that she would ask this particular manager to make these transfers, and they would be sent to these companies. There was one called Amswing Resources and Solutions, Limelight Dimensional Service Ltd, Omec Support Service Ltd, and Mango Farms. And she says all of them had, in the end, were being signed off by Mrs. Emefiele, so she knew that they all went to her. But she used to reach out to her by emails, phones, WhatsApp, whatever, and the monies went to her.
Okay, another story.
Okay, so I have the non-academic workers of public universities in the country yesterday embarked on a one-day warning protest over the non-payment of their 4-month salary arrears. The peaceful protest on campuses of the universities and the Nigeria French language village in Badagry, Lagos State, was coordinated by the Non-Academic Staff Union of Educational and Associated Institutions and the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities. They said their National Executive Committee members would meet tomorrow to plan a national protest in Abuja if the federal government did not meet their demands. The Abuja protest, according to them, will serve as a signal to an indefinite strike that will lead to a shutdown of administrative functions of the public universities. They also lamented that the workers who appealed to President Bola Tinubu to wade in the matter lamented the hardship they and their families have been subjected to because of the non-payment of the arrears, especially with the economic hardship in the country. Lamented that the Tinubu administration has been making unfulfilled promises and signed the memorandum of understanding. But then they are saying that during the tenure of President Buhari, that they had all these meetings and negotiations, MOUs were signed, and that they can't believe that right now with the Tinubu administration, the same thing is still going on, and that they have worked for these monies, they should be paid, and they should not be treated differently from the academic staff.
Right. Okay, so our president yesterday went emotional as he relived memories of his late mom, Alhaja Abibatu Mogaji. It was during the preview stage play called Abibatu Mogaji, the play, written by renowned playwright Professor Ahmed Yerima and produced by one of our own, Ola Awakon. The president recounted how his mother's breast served as his first restaurant. Mama's grandson, which is Sheyi, said, my grandson didn't partake in my first breakfast with Mama because my first restaurant was her breast, my first toilet was her lap, and my first ever bedroom was her back. He also praised Ola Awakon repeatedly for his thorough research and the thoughtful presentation of the life of his mom and a prominent businesswoman who was the Yaloja General of Nigeria. She died 2013, as many remember, and he pledged to invest in Nigeria's arts and culture sector. And that was a good. I was happy for Ola because he's one of TVC, and it was good for him. That's one of his passion, playwrights. So I was happy that he was able to produce that.
Yeah, amazing.
That's got the recognition it deserves.
Amazing work.
Okay, moving on now to the punch fuel crisis lingers at NNPC. 6 fresh $2 billion crude-backed loan. Nigerian drug baron flees South Africa, arrested in Imo mansion. Rescue abducted Kaduna journalists' families and Pantel federal government. How Emefiele awarded CBN contracts to own companies, says witnesses. Court orders forfeiture of NIMASA funds diverted under Jonathan's administration. Samoa agreement, reps demand suspension of NBA faults the same as NBA faults the same-sex allegation. 19 Nigerian airports not viable, says FAN. And NEF demands grazing reserves as Tinubu plans livestock ministry. Okay, which story are we starting with?
Okay, the MD of FAN, that's the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, Olubunmi Kuku, has said that only 3 out of 22 airports under his management are profitable and contribute largely to the growth of the aviation sector. She says that the nation's airports under FAN were being subsidized as they do not get passenger traffic commensurate to their operational cost. Also said that a lot of these airports need work. She said that, first of all, that the 4 out of 30 airports in the country are economically viable. They contribute 5.57 trillion to foreign trade in 51 months. The ones that are viable are the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Murtala Mohammed Airport, Kano, and Port Harcourt. Those ones contribute a sum of 529.68 billion in total exports and 5.05 trillion in imports from January 2020 to 2024. And so this also, sort of matched what the minister had mentioned also, that, we just have very few airports that are economically viable. And this is on the back of many states trying to also build their airports. They said so many are coming up in the north and the southwest, and yet, we just have only 3 or 4 that are
out of all the
viable.
airports we have already.
So I think what we need to think now is it something that we can do economically? Would it make sense? Would it really improve trade? Will it really generate foreign exchange to just have airports?
Let's go on a very short break. When we come back, we continue with our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.